Crowd, we didn't even put any chairs up.
Standing room only.
I'd like to call the town board meeting of the town of Lake Mills to order on November 11th, 2014 at 8 p.m. here at the town hall. The notice was published in the Lake Mills Leader on November 5th and posted at the town hall, the North End Boat Launch, and the cul-de-sac on Finch Brothers Road, and also on the town's website on November 3rd. Roll call is not necessary. All present and accounted for. Adoption of the agenda.
Make a motion to adopt November's agenda.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda as printed, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. The agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as printed.
I'll second it.
I see something that's wrong.
I didn't.
Okay.
The date for the DNR grant is December 10th, not 15th.
Okay.
We've had discussion all along on that, just a simple correction. So I would motion to approve as corrected.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The minutes are approved from the October meeting. Treasurer's report.
Make a motion to approve November's treasurer's report.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the November 2014 Treasurer's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, same sign. Notice here, we got that money set aside for that.
Yes, I
copper.
did see that. I did see that.
Right, now approval of the general funding vouching.
I'll make a motion that we approve general fund vouching in the amount of $83,029.18.
I'll second it.
Oh, is there any discussion?
I just have one question on the Trent Farewell citation of $114. What is that?
He sent the check to us instead of the clerk of courts, and we are obligated, since it was made out to us, to cash that
cash it?
check. So then we just cut a check to the
Okay.
city clerk
Good,
too.
good. I thought maybe we were
Same
starting to
amount.
pay people's fines.
Good question.
All right, thank you, Dave. All in favor of approving the general funding vouching for November, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, same sign. The vouching is passed. Reports. Bob, I see you're here with the police report.
I'm here with the police report. For October, there was 603 miles of patrol. There was 60 3/4 hours, 17 hours for running radar. We handled 7 complaints. There was 2 hours for court time, 1 accident investigated, 2 parked cars checked, 17 traffic citations, 3 parking citations, 12 traffic warnings, 9 assist motorists, 5 assist other departments, and 4 follow-up investigations. And we do have some ongoing business with the task force going on right now. The drug task force.
Yeah, I see that Wayne has gotten his payment, so,
Yeah. Yeah, we got some open cases there.
oh,
Okay, thank you, Bob. I know that we have some interviews coming up in the future that Matt has set up for a
Yes.
sergeant. He's seeking a sergeant, and we put together an interview panel, and we're going to do that right slightly before Thanksgiving. He also has solicited some help for the boat patrol. We're going to be interviewing that week of November.
I think you were on that panel. for the
Yes.
interviewing.
And if I can't, maybe you guys will, but it's a Monday, I think it's at 12:30, so. Just so you know, we're plunking along on that. I went to a Towns Association workshop on running a squared away police department. And basically that was done by an accreditation firm, which accredits police departments kind of to cover their butts. And went over the policies that need to be in place when you have a police department. I thought that was very interesting program that I went to. They were obviously wanting to solicit help to do this accreditation, but it was interesting to look at the policies that are in place, and Matt had made me aware of the policies that the town has, and so we kind of looked at those. We're going to need to be working on our mutual aid policy and looking at that, so that might play into a meeting with the city police department. If you guys would like to look at this, I enjoyed the towns convention. Not a whole lot of real new and exciting stuff, but I thought this police accreditation was interesting. Something we could take home. Anyway, I think the transition's working out okay, Bob. You guys
Yes,
are handing
yes.
off to each other.
Yes.
So I think it works out really good. I appreciate all the help both of you have given us to make that transition.
And talking with Lake Mills chief, there's a good understanding there between us with mutual aid, between Pat and our department. So I think it kind of work out good there.
Okay, moving on, Joint Rock Lake Committee report. Nobody here for that. I missed the meeting myself because I had to,
Become a grandma.
yeah, so.
Congratulations.
I did get an email, they have been working on the bumpers for the piers. Wes had done some investigation on other piers. Seems many piers have no bumpers.
Yeah.
We will be discussing that over the course of the winter. The Planning Commission, and I know you guys didn't even meet, so that's good.
Oh, you got to exercise your first.
Look at that, wow, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Next month.
No business, did not meet.
All right, so we'll just hang on till next month. And then the last of the committee reports is part of the election.
Yes, we had one last week. It went well.
Good.
And I have all of the information for April for you. I have a whole packet of stuff. And anyone else who's listening, December 1st is the first day to circulate papers. They are due back to me January 6th of 2015. And there's a checklist of items that you need to fill out and
All right, I think
Submit.
she's going to send us home with our homework
Yep.
today. There is
I
a.
even have a notification of non-candidacy.
All right. So, first of all, let's say thank you to all our poll workers who helped
Absolutely.
us
They
for
are
the midterm
fabulous.
election. It was a busy election, I heard, and lots of work ahead of time on Sarah's part for absentee voting. I appreciate your help with all of that, Sarah. I think the rest of the world does too. And I appreciate truly the time that the poll workers spend here that day. And so on to April, all of the seats on the town board are open,
Yes.
and the nomination papers are available on our website, and by,
Not yet, but I will put
you
them
make
in.
it happen. They begin circulating, what, the 1st of December, you said? So anyone who's interested in that, we are all ready for you to come and help us.
It's a
Anything
two-year
else?
term. You should note that too.
Number 8, period of comment and questions from the public. Hearing none, we'll move right on. Review of application filed, there are none. Item number 10, old business. Discussion and decision on a resolution 2014-07 for 2015 Clean Boats, Clean Waters application.
Well, you told me to put that on there, the resolution on there, but I think we covered it last month. We
Yeah.
just didn't put a number to it or put anything in
Right.
writing aside from the application itself, but I don't know that there's anything left to do there. Do you have?
No, but to fill it out and sign it, I guess, that's
Okay.
about it. Just so that we're all on the same
Yep,
page going
yep,
forward.
it was all approved.
All right. Then, item B, discussion and decision on the installation of snow fence in problem areas. I got this list. Why don't you share that with Jim?
I have this too, that I printed out, that email, that I think you guys got it, but I
Yeah.
brought it.
I did my annual fall visit with Mr. Forrest, and he gave me a whole list of pruning that needs to be done, so I thought I would attack a little of that soon. We also talked about snow fence. As you know, I've been asking the county to help us with the snow fencing that we had last year, deeming that we thought that it was pretty successful.
Yes.
I had a final call from them today. They do not have time to do it. And so when I met with Jason about the brushing and other snow removal issues, he said that he would have time to put the snow fence up. I talked with him about the use of the plastic fence versus the wood fence. I guess it's my opinion that the wood fence would be a better investment for us. It would last longer. He has the posts. He will put it up for us. We have to wrangle around and find it and buy it and get it here. And that's been kind of a difficult task in the last couple of days. I said to
Who still makes the wood?
well, you can buy it, and
Yeah,
that's
you
what
can.
we've been looking at, Menards or Tractor Supply, and I asked the county for a source. It seems like we'll be probably going out to buy it on the retail market. I
Yeah.
don't know if there's any other way to do it. I'm gonna try to estimate how much we need by this list of 5 or 6 roads. And I'm proposing that we just purchase the wooden snow fence. Jason will put it up. He also has the posts. He will then put it away and store it for us. I think that would be a good solution here. I don't know exactly how many thousands of feet or how many dollars you want to throw at this.
The checks on there, Jim, are the ones that would be probably more of a priority, and then the rest are just kind of things that we could do. Crossman Road, I would say if the weather is right, then, we should plow a windrow out there, and we could possibly, I could, do that myself. That way you wouldn't have, one of Jay's trucks out in the
It's your
field.
land too.
Um,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Besides
Right.
that, it's the whole road that drifts,
Right.
so, that's almost 3/4 of a mile, so.
Right?
Sherwood Hills Road, I don't know, what did we put up there last year? 300 feet?
Yeah.
Elm Point Road, probably around 300 feet. So that's 600 feet. London Road by Dunkelberger's, that must have been about 100 feet. So that's what, 700 feet right there in just those. What are you gonna do, buy 1,000 feet and just see how,
I was
See how
thinking
far
we
it
should
goes?
buy 2,000 feet. Make it happen.
Jim, what we had kind of found was, the range anywhere from $77 a roll to what was Tractor Supply, 39?
39.
Yeah, I saw Hope's email.
39.50.
And we were kind of thinking it'd be better, there should be someplace out there where you can buy it less than retail, but I haven't found anything.
Well, I think we can drive a bargain here if we work it out. Let's just total this up.
Okay, so what I thought I heard was about 700 feet.
No, that's only one road.
Yeah,
No, you said
well, between
300 and...
Look at here.
Sherwood Hills Road, Elm Point Road, and London Road would be about 700 feet.
That's
Then-
what I thought
Oh,
I
I see we
heard.
had 700 there, okay.
I don't know
Because
that.
didn't we only have about 100 feet there last year? Or maybe, let's see,
We'll
it
put
might
up
have been
what
a
we
little
get.
bit longer.
There's 1,000.
Yeah,
Let's get 2,000 feet.
okay, because then we can just extend these a little bit. Elm Point Road could be a little bit longer, Sherwood Hills Road could be a little bit longer.
And then I'll try to negotiate the best price.
Okay,
Let's make a calculation on that. If it's a 50-foot roll is $39 or $40
Yeah, we'll just do $40.
times 2,000.
So let's see. First of all, I guess we have to do if you had 2,000 feet.
I'm so glad he's got that new phone.
Yeah, me too. I'm just figured out. Okay, yep.
No, we're not.
$40 times 2,000.
No, it's, we have to go 2,000 divided by 50
Right.
Yeah.
equals,
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I thought
that's not right. So we have to go
2,000 divided by 50 is, right, 40
okay, so 40
times 40.
40 times
Yeah.
40 is,
1,600 bucks.
$1,600.
We had it without the calculator.
yeah, I know.
For once.
Do we have the money to do this, is the question.
It saved us a lot on plowing the previous year.
Okay,
Right?
I really feel
Yep.
like it, and, you know,
Everybody we talked to said that it helped.
Yeah,
And so that means that we had a reduction in the plowing. It doesn't mean everywhere, obviously, but
Right.
on these troublesome areas, it seems like the right thing to do. That's why we did it, that's why we,
we're gonna have some cost incurred to put it up to,
Mm-hmm.
and to store it.
We put $82,000 in the snow plowing line item of the budget, so.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion that we purchase 2,000 feet of snow fence and the equipment to install it, not to exceed $2,000.
I'll second it.
That's easy. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Sarah, will you help me line this up when I figure out where I'm gonna purchase it?
Yeah.
Because they'll need a tax exempt number and we'll have to
Right.
figure out how to do it.
Sure.
Okay? Thanks. Any other comments on that? It's coming, winter.
Yeah, it feels like it too.
And just for, as long as we're talking about winter, the salt has been brought in to the
Yeah.
shed. They're gonna be
loads.
mixing it, when that first snowfall happens. The procedure that we have is if there are complaints about road salt, sand, plowing, those are all directed to Sarah, our clerk. And you can do that by email or you can do that by phone. Keeping in mind that when it snows, the town has 36 hours to remove the snow from areas. It's roadways, so don't get panicky. And if we have bad weather, as we have had this week, and the radio or the TV say, don't venture out, don't venture out. That first snowfall is always a little scary. Everybody kind of has to get their sea legs under them. But my advice is if you don't have to go anywhere, mind that warning. Enough said. New business, the discussion and decision on approving the 2015 town budget.
did we actually vote on 10B?
Oh, I thought we did. Sorry.
Yeah, because,
All in favor?
yeah, okay. there you go.
Before I got into my snow lecture?
Yes.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign.
Okay.
All right, we'll go forward as fast as we can. Back to the 2015 town budget. A little snafu that we had was we needed to post the town budget and the approval and the public hearing for that 15 days ahead of time, and that simply did not happen. And so we have decided to postpone the town budget meeting, which was scheduled for tonight at 7:30, to next month, which would be December 9th at 7:30. And copies of that budget are available if you'd like to look at them. And if anyone would like to come to that public hearing and adoption of the budget, that will be held at 7:30 on December 9th. Yeah?
Sarah, Sharon, when do you have to get the information to the county treasurer to get the tax bills printed?
We were just discussing that.
We're discussing it, and we think she has all the numbers for that without the budget
Oh, okay.
being.
Everything is pretty much together, we just haven't had the hearing.
Okay.
Now that we got those final numbers from the fire department and
Yep.
we got the Humane Society, all that stuff is here. So it's
Then-
just a matter of making sure that the electorate has the proper notice, and I wouldn't want to go forward tonight without making sure we had that.
Right. Now that the last quarterly payment has been made, any idea where we are with cash and how much do we have to cash apply to?
Yeah, I have,
As I'll look at it.
well, I did not update the year-to-date numbers, but what I did is change where we started, or where we ended at the
Yep.
budget meeting. And I updated it for the fire number
Yep.
and took out all of those increases in other places that we were hoping to
Yep.
have, and I kind of reconciled the whole thing. So if
Okay.
you want to talk about it now, or if you want to take it home with you, I've got copies
No, let's
for
talk
all
about
of
it,
you.
we've got
Okay.
time.
All right.
You wanted to stick around here a while, anyway.
Yeah, I just
I mean,
was
we
curious to
had-
see where you ended up and how
We-
much we had to cash apply and
Yep,
how much we're gonna have.
we knew how
Left.
much that payment was going to be anyway.
Because before we were
had
looking at
already looked at that.
at about $140,000 was gonna be left over, but I'm sure that's carved way down
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, we ended up with cash applying. Sorry.
It's all right,
I
we
didn't
can share.
print my clean copy for myself. Cash applied 47,000.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
We did a little bit of messing with the garbage. Remember there was a question out there for John's disposal also. They were charging us too much for the yard waste, so that's been fixed.
Great.
However, we kind of opened a can of worms with that. They have a new person in their billing area who, as she was trying to figure out how many homes we were supposed to be billed for yard waste, figured out that there have not been, the number of units that they've been billing us for every month for total garbage is less than what she has as the number of containers that have actually been delivered out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she said for 2015, they're gonna go with what we've been doing, and it's obviously their error. But she and I are gonna work together shortly to reconcile and figure out just exactly how many we do have out here if we can. Which I figured the number of units that were, or the number of homes we're billing, the special charge on the tax bill is a pretty good place to start. That'll be
Right.
happening shortly.
Yep.
Okay. Well, this looks good, doesn't it?
Yep.
I mean, I'm disappointed, but
Yeah, me too.
what are you gonna do?
So
Yep.
I gave you guys the notice that is now gonna go out. Once I just put the right date on there.
Okay,
So, yeah, you can see that the revenues are going up almost 1%, while the expenses are going up 6%. So I did a little bit of a brief description of what that entails there
Yeah.
too, just to help make it make sense.
okay. When we go downtown to talk about fire, we'll talk about cable.
Okay.
I'd like that to be a work in progress.
I mean, it has been a lot less in the last couple of years than it was budgeted for previously, so we did drop that down, but it's still a lot of money. And like I said, I had found a letter that Robin drafted years and years ago disputing how much it was then, and stating that there was a discrepancy in how each party was feeling that should be billed. So I don't know if it was ever resolved. It was a long time ago.
Well, why don't you pull that stuff together and
Okay.
keep your fire hat on?
So then come December, then once we have all the disbursements out and the incomes in, then we should barely be able to figure out how much we have left in cash pretty easily, I guess, right?
Sure. Yeah. Well, next month when we meet, we'll have the disbursements through the end of the year, but we won't have the revenues
The
until
revenues.
3 weeks later. But
Right.
so
Okay.
January meeting, we'll know for sure.
Okay. Anybody else have a question? Or an issue that involves the town budget? thank you all again for your hard work on that. The discussion and decision on road work for 2015. I put this on here because I think that what I'd like to do is look ahead a little bit and get busy this winter and get those projects lined out that we want to do and figure out what they are so that we can get them bid in the winter months rather than wait until May when all heck breaks loose.
Yeah, maybe that's a tough one because you really don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, we
You
have
know,
a pretty good idea of what we need to do.
Yep.
I mean, I was up on Korth Highlands today, and there's a patch up there that's loosening up. I was disappointed to see that. We are not up for a trip grant this year. I think that's next year. Sarah discovered that, you know, these county highway funds that we are granted every year, just continue to accrue until we use them for a project that
Carry
we...
over. We have a credit with them right now. They
Oh,
just sent me a statement.
And so
Wow.
that credit is how much?
I need
Yeah.
to-
Well, we should have that and look at that.
$4,000 or so, $5,000. I don't
does the
remember.
bridge
I don't remember.
aid, does that carry over too?
No,
Probably not,
I
yeah.
don't think so.
Okay,
You know, we haven't applied for bridge aid
right,
because we really didn't have a bridge or culvert project.
right, yep.
But I just wanted you to know that we've got some reserve there and we should be thinking about what we want to do.
The other thing too that, I'd like to, we chatted a little bit about during the budget hearing on assessing the taxes for roads. Town of Oakland, they do that for $50,000. They borrow in November and then they carry that into next year. So they do it in November so they can get it on, this year's tax roll. Town of Ashland, they did 5,500 feet of, Harvey Road, and they just went in and milled and put down 2 inches of compressed binder and then an inch and a half top coat. 5,500 feet, $110,000. And they paid for, I believe, 50,000 of it, and they are going to pay that bill yet in November so that they can go in and borrow $60,000 from the bank, assess the taxes so they can finish paying for that road. So there's townships that are doing it. And I know, I think up here during the public hearing, I think we really should talk about that to see, because if you could do a mile a year, it's still gonna be 38 years. And if that money is strictly designated for reconstruction, then hopefully with our highway budget, trying to maintain the roads that we have, we can keep throwing Band-Aids on until you can get across. But if we don't start someplace,
Okay,
they
so
just get worse, worse, worse,
this
worse.
is why we're discussing this. Where are we gonna start? Are we gonna finish on Mud Lake Road? Are we taking on another
Well,
road?
I think we need to go back to our PACER rating, and it comes right back to London Road. That is 2.5 miles, so it's gonna take 2.5 years to repair that road. Now, maybe we can get more than a mile a year. Just like the town of Ashland, what they did was they took money from their highway budget and added it to money that they assessed the taxes for, and they got 5,500 feet done.
You know how they did that? I mean, I've been to the training sessions with the state that say that you can add to your levy what you are paying in interest every year. So the amount that you retain here in the township, you can add that on, and that, you know, so you can actually keep more. But you're talking more like an actual assessment of,
Assessment on the equalized value
okay,
is what I'm talking, because it kind of, we can't change the levy, but we can assess taxes to pay down debt.
okay, yeah, okay.
The only thing is what I'm wondering is, do we borrow this year to make improvements next year? Or do you do like Town of Ashland did and do nothing, do the work next year, borrow the money, and then assess the taxes in 2015 instead of 2014? Personally, I think I'd rather assess the taxes in 2014 so you had that money in cash to pay that bill. But I guess either way it works out.
It's kind of late now.
I know it, that's why I was disappointed on this thing here, because now you would really have a hard time, you know, if the numbers are already in the
Right.
treasurer, how would you get that assessment in? But I guess I'd like to make sure that we all support the idea, and then I'd like to know what the opinion of the electors are. We have to do something, and we've been saying that for 10 years. We have to do something. Now, hopefully, with crude oil prices falling, maybe it'll get cheaper, but I don't think so.
So my 2 cents on this is that it would seem to me, and I don't know what the law is, but it would seem to me that we would have to borrow the money and have the expenses to be able to then levy or assess against that.
Yes.
So we would have to have exact numbers of what we were doing. So I think your idea, while it may be sound or good, may actually not be fully legal. And I don't know that. I'm just...
Yeah, but see, that money would be designated to a project, and it could not be touched for anything other than that.
Right, but how do we then assess an exact dollar amount? And so we say that it's going to be, what were you proposing?
100,000.
Okay, so 100,000, and I guess that would mean for then every household in the town, what?
A $300,000 home would be $107.
That was a rough calculation.
That would be rough. A $300,000 house.
Because we would have to pay that all off
If
in
we had to pay it all off in 1 year.
in 1 year, is
And
that
then I think if you're
correct?
gonna float this boat, and that's the way it needs to be done, we can't keep on, only pay 50% of it. I think you have to pay it down, then in 2015 you do it again, 2016 you do it again, until we have seen the light at the end of the tunnel on some of these roads.
What were the towns that are doing this, Dave?
Town of Oakland and the town of Aston.
I know somebody at the town of Oakland.
Let's find out.
I guess my
She would
biggest...
know the details, I'm assuming.
I still think it's too late for 2014, 15. I think we need to look at the projects that we want to do. And if you're saying we're doing a mile of Hope Lake Road, we ought to solicit a number right now and figure out what we're looking at and go forward from there. And if that's not the way that the voters want to go, they've got a chance to throw us out of office.
And that's where I'm going with
Right, and
this,
they
is I
do-
think that, you know, if we're going to do this at the special meeting, you know, if we're gonna have some discussion, that we need to make sure that that is clearly, I mean, our discussion here is obviously making people aware of this, but I think
Correct.
that that needs to be very clearly noticed so that people understand what's going on, because I would think that many voters would think that that was kind of a backdoor sort of, how are you sliding this in on me type of
It's-
tax increase,
yeah.
and
It's and I know it, nobody likes increase, but it's no different than what the school does when they assess the taxes for their payment, on which the middle school, if I remember right, it was like $23 per thousand. But we've looked at a couple different avenues, and we start to run out of choices. We looked at a state loan that, when we're looking at redoing London Road, that would be taking 50% of our highway budget for 10 years. We can't do that because we would not be able to repair anything else. So we have to look at a different method of having it done. And we keep saying that, but nothing ever happens, and now,
Here we are
when did we
again.
start with London Road? 2 years ago? And now we're gonna throw away, or 2014 is gonna pass, and now you get into 2015, and, but then at the same time, I'll remind the electors that, you know, I don't like to see my taxes go up because we pay a lot of taxes, but at the same time, I drive those roads, and I'm assuming a lot of our electors drive those roads. We have a lot of bedroom people that are passing on those roads that don't live in our township, but they would obviously take the advantage of having a better road. We just have to get started somewhere, or they're all going to be ground and graded and made gravel.
Yep.
Okay,
So I just have one question. How did you come up with, you said 107
Well,
or
there-
something like that?
there-
And I'm like $100,000 divided by, how many households do we have? Or-
We took, and they're really the rough numbers. Take the equalized value, and you have to divide that by thousands to how many thousands dollars of equalized value, and then divide that by $100,000,
Okay,
and then you should get.
I guess what I was going for
I'm having
was
trouble
just-
making the numbers work. I think Sarah, you're.
I think the number is larger than what we're talking about, because if we just look at households and what do we have for households?
1,000?
Okay, so we take 100,000 and we divide it evenly between 1,000 households. What does that work out to?
$1,000.
That's a little bigger number than.
See, the only thing is you're looking at households. But now I'm gonna say my bin site is a very expensive corner, and I'm gonna be paying a lot, because that is part of the equalized value. So you really can't figure it on household, you have to figure it on equalized value. The more
Okay,
the value, the more you're gonna pay.
so then,
Unless you wanna put up toll booths. Hey, we could do that in London Road.
On the road.
Huh?
so I would venture a guess that one of the questions that would be asked is, okay, what is truly that number?
And that's what we have to refine. And I talked to Sarah earlier to see if she had worked on it, but because of kind of the budget hearing,
Well, in the election and just a
Yeah.
few other things
Just a
that she
few
had on
things.
her mind, I think, just
This
maybe.
is kind of part of what I wanted to talk about as far as the road work goes. I mean, I think we need to get an idea of what one of these projects would cost.
well, I tell you, Town of Aspen, what they did is they went in and they just strictly milled the blacktop.
Yeah,
Put down 2 inches of compressed binder,
I saw
an
it.
inch and a
I
half
saw it.
of top coat. Now, I'm still under the impression that to make a better base, to get the road to last a little bit longer, you need to put down a minimum of 4 inches of gravel, pulverize that 6 inches or so deep to make a better base, put down 10 to 11 foot lanes, whatever, you know, it works out to be.
Right.
And then go with the same type of a thing, 2 inches of binder, an inch and a half of top coat. We would not be able to do 5,500 feet like they are doing for $110,000. We probably would only be able to do maybe 4,000 feet. But if we took some of our highway maintenance budget, if it didn't need to be used for a wedge and chip seal, then we could take some of that highway budget and add to it so we could get more feet. I really don't see that happening much because we have a hard time getting much work done with the money we have. So that money would strictly be for
reconstruction.
reconstruction. And I would think that London Road should be number 1. I think Newville Road should be number 2. Mud Lake Road and Conservation Road should be 3-ish, 4-ish. I mean, it could be Conservation Road that with our highway money, we could go in there and do a overlay, which would take care of that. So I think we just need to keep going, bing, 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 until we get our roads up to snuff.
All right, I think this is gonna take a little bit more than just one night's worth of discussion. I mean,
Yeah,
this
'cause-
is strategic planning.
First of all, we have to get that solid number so that we can go to electors with a number.
And
And I don't know what that is because every time
No,
I
and
do
I-
it, it just doesn't work out for me.
Yeah,
'Cause
I've only been through the whole process once. I'm about to do it the second time, the completion of it, so I
Okay.
think I'll have a better understanding. And I've been wanting to break apart our $1,000 of tax money, where does it all go anyway?
Sure, okay, okay.
So I'll do that
Yeah.
for December.
When I first did, I came up with $2.88 per thousand, but that's not right. That's not right.
And you're gonna have to.
So we got to
We're gonna have to put together a schematic of how this is
and
gonna work.
lay it out because otherwise we're gonna have to. I mean, if you guys agree, then we have to sell it. And obviously, I don't like to pay any more tax money, and I don't like to listen to my wife complain about having to write that check either.
But.
But we gotta do something.
Yeah.
Pay less than
Right. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at here. We need to do some research work.
Yep.
We need to figure out what a mile or how many feet we can accomplish. We need to get our priorities lined up and talk about it again in December.
The town of Ashland did Mansfield where they put gravel down, pulverized, and came back in. And Jim, do you recall what that half mile was? Wasn't that $90,000?
something
was-
like
it was
that.
pretty
but I do
expensive,
not-
but
I'm
they
sorry, I
really-
don't remember.
That was shouldering, and they put a lot of gravel and they pulverized it quite deep.
Well, those are the kind of things that need to be started. We have to.
But it comes down to dollars, and then whatever it costs, that's the feet you're gonna get out of it.
I don't think that you are preaching to some unknown group here. I think
Right.
we are all in understanding of what has to be done. It's a matter of how it impacts the taxpayer. There
Right.
couldn't be a better time to bring it up than an election year.
And I don't wanna get, yeah, there you go. And I don't wanna get like,
Well,
other, townships and counties where they just go out and borrow a bunch of money from the state fund and then end up having to pay forever to get it,
can't
to
do
pay
it.
it off.
You
And
can't do it.
I like to stay within our means, even though it's gonna be a little bit painful.
Right. Okay, a little more work is necessary. Let's find out how it's working in Oakland. Let's find out how they've marketed it to their taxpayers, and let's hear what the rest of the world has to say. I think you're right on when you say London, Newville, Mud Lake Conservation. We have those on our list and our radar all the time. And I don't think there's any reason to not go out to bid on a mile of that roadway and just find out what it's gonna cost in these winter months. Go forward from there.
And normally what we did is we just got a per foot bid. That way we can calculate how many
Right.
feet we can afford to do.
Okay. All right, no decision tonight, but let's just put that on our radar and do some strategic planning to that end.
I didn't catch the Jefferson.
Item C is the discussion and decision on the 2015 small animal collection contract from the Jefferson County Humane Society, which you guys have the letter in front of you. They're saying that the board has authorized a 2.5 increase for the coming year, so our cost will be $5,165.84, or
That's-
$430.49 per month.
And we usually always pay by the year.
Yes, we paid the whole year.
Now,
at
why
one
can't
time.
we authorize a 2% increase?
Well, see, that's not what, the
Yeah.
fire commissions, that was
Yep.
2%,
Yep.
you're the city, it's at 5%.
Yep.
And everybody, it's just, well, it's gonna be 1%, 5%, 12%, and now you get 2.5, why can't we just do that?
Exactly.
Because you were operating under local government levy limits.
Yeah, I know it, yeah.
And you just voted it all right in again. So here we are.
Gosh, I'm responsible for something else again. The train left the track. Right?
The train
Every
left
time
the
it
track.
leaves, you're responsible. I'll make a motion to approve the 2015 calendar year Humane Society Small Animal Contract for an annual payment of $5,040.86.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Should we give them a break if we pay up?
Yeah, that was the break.
Oh, that would be the break.
Want to look at the letter?
$5,040.86.
Yep.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay, swell. All in favor of approving the contract, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Contract is approved. Board expense sheets, I have my little board expense sheet here from traveling to the Towns Association.
Who did you take lunch with you?
I didn't,
Just
I stayed with some
kidding.
friends, so you saved a whole lot of money. It was interesting because it was in Stevens Point again, which is kind of nice, and I do have some friends there that I could stay with, and we have a new Towns executive, Mike Coles, who has background in leadership. And I couldn't help but think that when I was there at the opening remarks, there was a man giving a speech about how they cooperate so well with a county in Sauk County, and I thought, geez, I'm glad we cooperate pretty well with the county in Jefferson County, because we really do cooperate really well with them. We don't have to have meetings or anything about it. The other thing that was remarkable to me is they were giving awards for town chair people who had served for 35 and 45 and 55
Whoa.
years. And I thought, this is not a really good thing.
Are
I
you
thought
saying
of it.
term limits? You know?
Although I do feel that after 55 years, you probably do know your job.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The good old boys club.
There you go.
There's a real need in the Association of Towns to bring in young people and to mentor more people to understand what our jobs are and what we're doing. And that was pretty clear to me. So I was kind of excited. You know, I also attended the Urban Towns Association meeting where they're seeking more members. Urban towns do most of the lobbying for the
Yep,
association, and there are getting to be more and more urban issues. They're lining out some things with the Wisconsin League of Municipalities. So it was a good conference. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy seeing some of our county people and laughing at what was going on. I'm very hopeful for the future, though, that there will become some younger faces in that crowd.
Small duffers.
Being 60 and being in that crowd, I was like one of the younger people.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that 35-year award. So anyway, it was interesting. So thanks for letting me go.
You'd be 90 plus there, gal.
That's right. We do have some correspondence tonight. I don't know where it disappeared to.
Better bring Dr. Oz in on this one.
Do you know where our letter went? Is it down there on the table?
Oh,
I'm sorry?
It's right
with
there in
the,
front of you.
yep. It's the one with the map right there. It says 1108.
Received this letter from Ken Eimers. I had a call from Ken, and he came and saw me, and I said, please put it in writing. He lives out on Conservation Road, and he would like us to request that we post the town of Lake Mills land, which is a 3.5 acre site out there, that we post that land, no hunting. And I thought that I should bring this to your attention. You guys, we drove by there on our road tour and remarked on it, and I guess his land totally surrounds ours, and I said that we would bring it up and discuss it. This was land that was at one time served by a small asphalt road that had a collection site for yard waste and dumpsters, I think, at
Dumpsters,
one
yeah.
time, before recycling and the advent of garbage pickup in our town. I guess I don't have a problem myself with posting it for hunting. I made a suggestion to Ken that he find out who it was that was hunting and approach them, but he didn't really know who they were and wasn't excited about that at all. And I also asked him if he'd be interested in purchasing the land. So this is just something on our radar screen too. It is 3.5 acres. It does have access to Conservation Road. It's basically a strip of woods. You guys see the,
And it should probably be sold. we have no reason to keep it. What value does it have to the town?
I did remind Ken that, it is adjacent to a public hunting ground, and that's one of the reasons that people like to use that. And there aren't a whole lot of other sites in the county for public hunting. I mean, there are sites, but there aren't a great abundance of them. I don't know how you want to proceed.
Unless you want to build the town hall right there. You already own it. Not a center, but
Good point.
I think it should be sold and we should take that money and bank it and use it for a new town hall someday.
And then he could post his own
Yes.
no hunting and no
Yeah.
trespassing.
Is he interested?
I don't know. I guess I would bring it to your attention. I do have some hesitation to posting it. I don't think it's that big a problem.
Yeah.
But of course, what he says is when they wander back in there, that they wander on his property too.
Sure.
So, I do know that there are some big rocks that they put in front of the road, so you can't drive in there. It's basically someone who has the knowledge that this is public land. I guess I just wanted to bring it to your attention, and he wants us to look at it. Maybe we can be thinking about what we'd like to do. It's probably too late this year to post it anyway, but I do think that maybe we should decide if we would like to sell it and see if he would be
Yeah.
interested.
Because by the time you get it on the agenda, for December, hunting season is over.
Yeah. So I think we'll just let it ride at this point in time, but know that we are interested.
I'm gonna put that
Yeah.
with the rest of
Yeah,
it. Okay.
keep all that, okay?
Yep.
And maybe he'll come with a proposal, maybe we should come with a proposal. But that's something else we can look at in strategic planning, so keep that on the radar. Is there any other correspondence? Sure.
Yep. We got our letter right after our board meeting from the sheriff's office, officially granting permission for Matt Miller to become our interim chief.
Good, good.
Some highway safety education opportunities there. Whole bunch of stuff from Jefferson County zoning, they've been busy. First one is they reviewed and discussed the possibility of adopting an ordinance relating to the placement of sexual offenders. After lengthy discussion, they decided at the present time the county would not be going forward with an ordinance amendment on that. They were letting us know. Also, they met and discussed the possibility of adopting an ordinance relating to wind energy systems. On that, they have directed staff to begin writing an ordinance. If you're interested in information on that. And then they participate in the National Flood Insurance Program, and as such, they're required to periodically revise the floodplain ordinance and the flood insurance rate maps. They are having a public hearing on November 20th, 2014. As part of this procedure, they are required to do that. And there's a whole packet of information here on the proposed ordinance and the
Okay, good.
related information.
I wonder if you wouldn't put these dates on the website, Sarah,
Sure.
for this zoning hearing.
And now that you say that, there's another piece of that too. The Mike Stoddy's he's on the
Right.
Right, yeah.
list for the
We all get
next
those
meeting.
notices.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
But I think this FEMA hearing is of interest to some of our local residents.
Okay. That and this, the Rock River Reflections arrived. That's it.
Okay. All right. Again, meeting scheduled December 2nd is Planning Commission and 8 p.m. at the Town Hall. December 2nd is also the Joint Rock Lake Committee at 6 at the City Hall. December 9th is our regular Town Board meeting at 8 with the budget hearing at 7:30. December 9th.
Sorry
So-
about that. But
That's all right, it's okay, it's not a problem. Are there any other meetings? I would like to set up some time to go and talk to the city manager, but maybe we can do that after Thanksgiving.
The Optimists are going to be using Town Hall again for their annual present drive, December 11th through the 13th.
Okay. Anything else?
There's a Cambridge Fire Commission meeting on December 11th at 6:30.
And you know that ahead of time, that's really nice.
Well, actually, Steve emailed me yesterday and wanted to set one for the 4th, and then we had to remind him that this time we had set the next meeting at the last meeting, so it's
So did you say 7:30?
6:30.
6:30.
Is he gonna send me, something to put up again?
Yeah.
The day
Where do
before?
where do you meet?
Usually?
At the fire station. It does change periodically, but 99% of the time it's at the fire
All
station.
right. Okay. All right, again, thank you to our poll workers for a successful election, and thank you, Sarah, for all you did and to orchestrate all of that. And Sharon, if you need help with any of the things with the tax bills coming out, your annual Christmas greeting to the town, you'll let us know. Anything else to come before the board? I would motion then to adjourn.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.